You need nothing less than 3 yards of a crepe fabric, a quality thick crepe fabric. It shouldn't be extremely thick, okay, because of the pleats, but mine was really thick. Hi guys, my name is Nayejan. I teach ladies how to make beautiful dresses. So here is my 3 yards of crepe fabric. I went for ash color because I've never worn a Boubou dress in this color, and I really love to see how it looked, and it looked amazingly beautiful. You can see the quality of this crepe from the camera, right? Now let me show you that I have exactly 3 yards here on this table. I bought 3 yards and I wasn't sure if it was going to be enough, but it was enough, and I'll be showing you how I managed it to achieve that dress. So this is 1 yard, this is 2 yards, and then the remaining 3 yards. Now let's get into it. Okay? Now the first thing I did was to take out 1 yard from my 3 yards. Now that 1 yard, I'll use it to cut like from the shoulder all the way to my knee. Okay, I'll use that 1 yard to cut shoulder to knee. Then the remaining 2 yards, we're going to manage it to create the pleats, the sleeve, and the tie. Okay, right now this is the 1 yard I cut out. I will fold it into 2 equal parts. After which I'll fold it into 2 equal parts again. This means that I'll fold it into 4 parts. You can see that, right? There will be no zipper allowance. Okay, so I'll fold it into 4 parts. This is what I have. Please follow me, okay? It is very now easy. From the folded area of your fabric, go in by 3 inches. We are going in by 3 inches for the wideness of the neck. Now go in from that center still, go in by half of your shoulder measurement. Now my shoulder measurement is divided by 2 is 8.5. I added ½ inch, and that's why I marked 9. Okay, now for the depth of the neck, you're going in by 2 inches. You can see that I marked 2 inches. Connect from that 2 inches to the wideness, just like you see on the screen, and yeah, that's it. The next thing you want to do is to create your shoulder slope. For the shoulder slope, I'm going in by 1 inch, yeah, and then I'll connect from that 1 inch to my neck line, and this is what now the next thing you want to do, place your tape from the shoulder line, go in by your bust point. I'm going to be marking it on the side because I don't want to stain the fabric. Okay, now this is my bust line. Go in by the waistline, that's shoulder to waist, mark it on the side, and then also the hip line, shoulder to hip line, that's 24 inches, and I marked it. So I'll be working with these points. Now on the bust, my bust is 36 inches. I'll divide 36 by 4, and that'll give me 9. Now you know it's a free dress, so I'll be adding 3 inches extra for extra comfort. So I'll add 3 inches. You can see the way I extended what I marked upwards by 2 inches. Yes, that point that we marked, that our bust measurement, we use our French curve to connect from the shoulder slope to that very point. Remember, look at where my bust line is. I went up by 2 inches, which automatically becomes your chest line. So you can now connect from that point to your shoulder slope and to give you your armhole. Now, moving on the waistline, that point where we mark for our waist, whatever you have on the bust, you're going to extend it to your waistline. So while extending to your waistline, you can take your hands out. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah. Now after you've done that, the next thing will be to go to the hip line. Now on that hip line, the measurement for your hip, divide it by 4. Now my hip is 42, divide by 4, that will give me 10.5. I'll add extra 4 inches, okay, and that will give me 14.5. basically everything I have on my fabric. So I'll just extend all the way to that point. Okay, now from whatever I have on my hip, that's exactly what I'll have. I'll keep expanding it till I exhaust my fabric all the way to my knee. You can see that, right? Go ahead and use my ruler to make the line much more perfect. You know, you don't need any curve, because this is like a free dress from the bust to the hem. So this is the slant effect I wanted it to have, and it is now at this point you can go ahead and cut out. Please, if you're not a size 6, 8, 10 and max 12, this pattern cannot work for you. You may need about 4 yards to be able to achieve this. Alright, so once you're done, please separate the two pieces, okay? One is the front piece and the other is the back, okay? Now get the front piece, fold it into two. We're going to increase the neck depth, okay? The depth of the neck will increase it. So place your tape from the shoulder, go in by 3 inches, okay? That should be the depth for the front. I hope you're paying attention. You can see the way I now connected it to my shoulder, and that will be the new neckline. Also, for the front armhole, place your tape round about the armhole just like this. Find the midpoint. Now once you've located the midpoint, place your tape right there, go in by 1 inch, go in by 1 inch. Now that will be your new depth for the armhole. The armhole for the front is usually deeper than that of the back, okay? So make sure you effect this on your front piece and it will definitely make all the difference. So go ahead and cut out. This is a new neckline for the front, and this is definitely the armhole for the front. Now get your back. Now this is the back piece, which I have folded into 2 equal parts. Place your tape from that neckline, go in by 4 inches, 4 inches, okay? Now we're going to be slitting from that neck point all the way to that new mark you just effected. So after slitting it open, this is what you would have. Now the reason for this is because we'll be adding a button holder. This will help you to wear the clothes with ease, because we do not have any zipper, okay? Now this is the front piece and the back piece. You can see the difference in the armhole and in the neckline, so you should have that as well. Right, please pay attention around this area, okay? Get your pieces, the front and back pieces. We're going to measure the hem to see how many inches we have on that hem. So after measuring, I have 30 inches for the front piece and the same 30 inches for the back. So basically we have 60 inches for the hem. Now that 60 inches we just measure will help us determine the wideness for our pleats, okay? The pleats we'll have, it will help us to know how many inches of pleats we need. All right, now also get your pieces again. Place your tape from the shoulder, measure how many you have from the shoulder to the knee. What I have here is 35 inches, okay? And the full length of the dress is 60. Now I'll simply say 60 minus 35. That will give me how many? 60 minus 35 will give me 25 inches. So the length for the pleating will be what? 25 inches. The length for the pleating will be 25 inches, while the wideness would be 60 inches. Now this is the 2 yards, and this 2 yards I said earlier we'll be using it for the pleats, the sleeve and the neck shawl. So let's go ahead. Okay, now, so this is the 2 yards left. I have folded them into 2. Now we'll cut out the length we are working with. The length for the pleats is supposed to be what? 25 inches. We'll add 1 inch or 2 inches for sewing allowance. That will be like 26 inches, and I'll go ahead and mark 26. You can see that I've marked 26 right there. I'll cut out, okay? I'll cut out on that point I marked, and that will be the length for the pleats. Then we'll go ahead and start pleating our fabric. Now this is the fabric we cut out for the pleating, so we'll start pleating and pinning up. Now when you're pleating, make sure you maintain the same size. Your pleats should all be the same size. There shouldn't be one fat pleat and then one tiny pleat, okay? Let it be very equal. Try your best to make it equal. As I'm pleating, I'm not using my tape rule, but if I notice a difference in size, I would unpin and pin again. That's how I go about my pinning, okay? You can also use your tape and chalk to mark where you want the pleats to be, and then that helps you to get a more accurate result, okay? So we'll go ahead and keep pleating and pinning up just like this. Make sure you use pins, and make sure you are pinning 1 inch from the edge of a fabric. This is because you'll be stitching on half an inch. While pleating, please keep in mind that your pleated fabric should be up to 30 inches, okay? 30 inches for the front and 30 inches for the back. So after pleating, I'll use my tape rule to check if what I have is up to 30 inches. So here I have my main piece, and I'm just checking if my pleated fabric is enough for that hem, and as you can see, it is more than enough. I have more than 30 inches right now. I'll simply take my pleated piece and I'll take it to sewing machine to make the pleats permanent. So I'm stitching on the pleats to make it permanent. Now the pleating we just stitched on is the front pleats. Let's do the same thing for the back pleats. Okay, after pleating the back, we'll have the pleats for the front and the back, and here I have already stitched them up. So I'll go ahead and stitch the other side exactly with ½ inch. After stitching them together, this is what you would have. So it will look like a skirt. By the time you've stitched the front and the back pleats together, it will look like this. Yeah, now you can go ahead and start ironing your pleats. Just follow the pleats pattern and iron. Okay, I actually ironed mine after sewing the whole dress. You can do that, but the dress will be very heavy at that point, so it's better you iron it before adding the upper bodice. Now let's move to the main bodice of this dress. All right, so we'll be interfacing the neck area of this front piece. Okay, now to do that, we'll get pieces of this our main fabric. You fold your main pieces and then also fold the interface piece. Okay, place on the interface piece, make sure that you pin the neck area very well, and then you can go ahead and trim out the unnecessary part. After this, you can now give the interface the shape you desire. Okay, and then go ahead and take this to the sewing machine, stitch up the neck area. You can see the way I'm pinning up. Those area I'm pinning is the area I'm going to stitch down. Take the sewing machine and stitch down. Then you get your back piece. This is the back piece. We'll do the same thing. Remember, your back piece has like a slit for fixing a button holder, right? So you do the same thing. The only difference is you're going to fix the button holder just before you stitch down. So for the button holder, you simply need a strap like this. Make sure you bend it in such a way that it gives you a hole that can hold the button, right? Then go ahead and fix it in. Insert it in one of the neck areas. You place it ½ inch close to the edge of your neckline. You can see me marking the ½ inch for stitching down. So you place it just before just after the ½ inch, pin up, and then you can now use the interface to give it a permanent stitch round about. And that's basically that about the interfacing. After taking this to the sewing machine, you guys, this is what we'll have. Now I'm simply notching round about the neck area. I'm taking my time to show you the processes bit by bit, okay, so that if you're a beginner, you can actually make this dress without stress. Now this is what the front looks like after interfacing. Gives you that neat finished effect. Now this is what we have after interfacing the front piece and the back piece. You can see that, right? The next thing you want to do is to neatly stitch up the shoulders. Okay? Now to stitch up the shoulder, please watch this video closely. I'll place the front piece on the back piece and then use the interface of the front piece to cover up that of the back piece. Just focus on the screen. Okay, we'll repeat the same thing for the other side. Place the front piece on the back piece or vice versa, then take the interface of the one on top, take it all the way to cover the back, and then pin up. Take the sewing machine and then stitch up with half. Now if you follow this method, this is what your shoulder will look like. You can see how neat the seams are, right? Good. Now the next thing is to stitch up the sides of the dress. Stitch up the sides of your dress. Now we are stitching up with ½ inch. We'll just stitch up ½ inch on both sides. After this, now we'll get our pleated piece, the pleating, and then we'll add it to the knee area of our dress. So I'll simply pin up the pleats round about the knee area of the dress, since pleats is exactly the same measurement with that knee area. Okay, so we'll pin up. After pinning up, we'll definitely go to the sewing machine to stitch now up. After pinning up, it will look just like this. Okay, you can now take this to the sewing machine and stitch up, give it a permanent stitch round about that knee area. Now next is to fix your sleeve. These are the sleeves we'll be working with, this short sleeve. If you don't know how to cut a short sleeve, the video right before this particular video on my channel shows you how to cut a basic short sleeve. Now with that being said, this is the end of this tutorial. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you have any question, please do well to ask in the comment section, and that'll be all for now. Till my next video, bye.